You can tell them a lot better than I can.
Well, you all asked me to talk about police and what advice that your listeners and viewers can receive when they're dealing with the police. A very important and difficult subject matter. And I'm here to provide some good legal advice as well as political and just advice for us as black people. I believe I can give good advice here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm here to talk about the book that's coming out December 15th in New York on my
some Facebook friends asking about that.
on my mentor and our champion, a freedom fighter, loved by many, Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
Yeah.
People want to know about the book. They've been asking. I'm here to give an official update, report, take you all through it, let you know what it takes to be involved in this kind of project, and just let you know that it's coming and how it's coming and the blood, sweat, and tears that got me here today.
Okay.
All right.
If you guys want to join this discussion, feel free to give us a call here. The hotline number is 240-455-5934. Again, that's 240-455-5934. All right. Brother Malik Zulu Warrior.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
how I always call you.
That's
Zulu
fine.
Warrior.
That's fine. I want to stay on a war footing and on a war posture.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, you have mentioned, let's get back to know. What did you mean when you said that, as far as being confronted by the police and, getting back to saying no? What does that mean?
No, the essence of no when dealing with the police, there are two kinds of no's. There's K-N-O-W, getting back to know, knowing what you're doing. And there's the ability to have discipline, which is represented in the word no. When we say, well, don't talk to the police, don't allow a search, know how to, we're saying in essence, know what you're doing mentally and know how to be disciplined enough to say no to protect your rights. Okay, that's fundamental. So let me deal with the first no, knowing what you're doing. You must know if you are stopped by the police, why they're stopping you. And so then you will know whether or not you have to answer questions, whether or not you have to submit. It talks about here in my book what black people need to know when dealing with the police, and it's on my website, blackrightsmatter.org. And if you just find me on blackrightsmatter.org, I'll send you a free copy of my booklet, What Black People Need to Know When Dealing with the Police. So you need to know why the police are stopping. For example, if you're just walking out in front of everlasting life, a police officer says, hey, where you going, Anita? Can I see your ID? You do not have to show the police officers your identification. You do not have to answer any questions to the police. You do not have to speak to the police at all, unless you are being detained. If you're being detained by the police, then you may have to answer some questions and you will have to show them a copy of your ID. However, there must be a reason that the police detain you. It must be what they call a reasonable suspicion.
Okay.
There has to be a reason that they're investigating you for some kind of possible criminal activity is the reason why they're stopping you, and that has to be what they call an articulable reason, according to the landmark case 1968, Terry v. Ohio, which deals with who you can stop and how you can stop them, stop a person, how long can you stop a person, and what are the reasons. You can't just make up a reason. Well, I'm just going to go bother that person. I'm going to go bother that black woman. Give me your ID. No, you cannot do that. And that is a reason to tell the police to their face to either walk away from them or don't deal with them, or to tell them no. If they are detaining you, well, how do I know I'm being detained? Ask, am I being detained? That's one question y'all need to say. If the police are asking you questions, the first thing you want to ask is, am I being detained? Or number two, am I free to leave? See, don't just start talking to the police. If you're feeling uncomfortable, ask, well, say, sir, well, am I being detained or am I free to leave? And he has to then answer up, according to the United States Constitution, that I'm holding you here and I'm asking you questions and asking you for an ID because I have a valid legal reason that may be subject to challenge later. It's just some basic things as we get started.
What is the protocol as far as recording police officers?
You can record the police officers.
In every state?
You can record the United States Supreme Court has stated that you can record the police. That is your right. It's your First Amendment right to be able to do that. The way they are stopping people or attacking people, alleging that they are obstructing the justice, or they are obstructing the police in carrying out their duties. Most of the time the police officers are lying or fabricating when they're doing that. So what you want to do is you want to keep recording the police. We must keep recording the police officers, and you just want to make sure that you're at what they call a reasonable distance. You want to make sure that they can't at least try to not be in the way of what they're doing. Although their definition of you being in the way of what they're doing and our definition can be completely different. Or their definition of what is a reasonable distance or not obstructing them is different than what the law says. You know, and so they get very aggressive and hostile when being recorded.
Yes.
And the person with the video camera then has to make a choice of whether or not I'm going to keep recording and I'm going to stand up for myself and I'm going to challenge them on this, or whether you're going to, as most people will tend to do, your heart flutters and you want to back down when 4 or 5 officers are coming. And you just have to make that choice. And you know, sometimes, you know, just have to make that choice. And I'm for standing up and making that choice. We have to establish that right to monitor and video the police.
So what about the searching of someone's vehicle? Should they be treated the same way as if the police just come to your door without a warrant and says, I need to search your home? Do they need a warrant to search your vehicle, or?
Police officers do not need a warrant to search your vehicle if they have stopped you for a valid traffic stop. That means they have already had a reason to stop you.
Okay.
But search you is a little bit different.
Okay.
They don't, when they stop you, it's presuming that they're stopping you for a valid reason, inquiring into your broken tail light, you crossed the light, whatever traffic violation.
Okay.
They can't just search you. They have to ask, will you consent to a search of your vehicle?
Oh, okay.
Unless there's something from their eyesight that they can see in your vehicle or smell, according to the law of the state, that will allow them to inquire further through a search. But absent, like just say a weapon out on the seat, absent indication of some crime being committed in the car, absent that you're breaking law anywhere, obviously, no, they cannot. The police cannot search your vehicle, and you do not want to, even if you have nothing in your vehicle. As a people, we want to establish a policy that you cannot search my vehicle, even if I'm 100% clean. We want to establish the code in our community that, no, you cannot search my vehicle because I know my rights. And when we want the police as a community to know that we know. Because here's what they do. They stop you, hey, they're stopping you, and then in many communities, they just start reaching.
Yes.
They don't wait. There's nothing in the vehicle. They do funny stuff in D.C. because they don't feel brothers and sisters are going to stand up for themselves. So they'll open that passenger door, open that driver door. You know, they're just straight up open.
So quickly.
You know,
Yeah.
they do things like ask the passenger for his ID. Let me see your ID. But the passenger does not have to show his ID. If I'm a police officer and stopping you for a traffic violation, then I can ask you for your driver's license. I don't have a probable cause, or I don't have a reason to ask the person next to you for their ID, but they often do it, and because we're nervous, we give it up. But the proper answer is, no, sir, I'm not driving this vehicle, and I do not have to show my ID.
Why is it so important to stay with these protocols as opposed to just, you know, giving it up just because?
It's because
even if you're legal in every right.
It's because we're not just thinking about ourselves, we're thinking about everyone. And we are those who know, we're trainers of everyone else. We're the leaders. So We want a code in our community that to teach the police departments, the police chiefs. They want to say these black people are smart. When we're in their community, they are no longer allowing us to search the vehicles, even if they're right. They're 100% right. They are quoting laws out there. They are denying our searches. They know what they're doing. Right now, and the police chiefs and the sheriffs say, well, you know, they're not going to challenge us. And so they are crossing the lines. It's a slippery slope. If I can violate you, if I can violate your right to search your vehicle and you allow me to, I may then get down the line to violating your body.
Exactly.
Violating your person, using excessive force on you, because why? Because I've already violated the lesser law, and therefore it's a slippery slope. If I violate the lesser law as an officer, I'm more likely to be encouraged to violate the greater law, all the way up to the taking of your life.
Right.
And so, you know, we have to take we have to take a hard line on the police. That's what I'm saying. All of us, whoever we are, take a hard line on our rights with the police.
Right.
On our rights.
I'm glad that you mentioned it, because the ID thing, you see it oftentimes, and then when you read the comments, let's say a video come out, a lot of us don't really know this. So we'll say, why does the passenger have an attitude? Just show him the ID. But he doesn't really, that person, he or she doesn't really have to. But most of us don't know that.
Yes.
And so we automatically think you just need to do whatever the police is asking you to do. So we automatically think that if something happens in that situation, the person should have just showed the ID to avoid the situation getting out of hand. But the truth be told, that passenger didn't have to, based on what you're saying.
Right.
But because we don't know that, we automatically said it's their fault. They should have just showed the ID.
Well, we all want, because we have generally hostile police forces interacting with us, we all desire ease. Human nature is to desire ease when dealing with the police. But that can be very detrimental to our cause. For another example, we want to talk. We talked about saying no, N-O. We want to talk a lot to the police. Police are asking us questions. We want to talk our way out of it. We've been arrested. We're in the back of a police car. We want to talk our way out of it. We want to avoid arrest by talking. And many times we are doing what? We're entrapping ourselves by making statements that will do what? Later be used in a court of law against us. That's why they're supposed to warn you with a Miranda warning. That anything you say will be used against you. You know, can and will be used against you in a court of law. But no, a million times over is the best answer when it comes to speaking to the police while detained without an attorney. You know, you should not speak to the police while arrested without an attorney, and if detained and asked questions, you should give up as limited information as possible while you are detained.
What do you see as an attorney out there fighting on behalf of our rights? What do you see as like the number one, or one of the number one biggest mistakes that we make when dealing with the police? That if you can get this point across, that'll help your job out a whole lot.
Wow. I could say I'd rather not have this job. I'd rather this job not exist. This job of Tony Green in Georgia, case I have now, Kingsland, Georgia. He's shot and assassinated by Officer Zachariah Presley, who in some kind of emotional rage tracked him down and ran him down, and he's unarmed and shot him down. You know, I wish that this line of work of representing persons that are dead and their family members are grieving, and we have to try to hold police officers accountable and sheriffs. I wish all of that didn't have to exist. I don't want to shift the burdens and say that this situation is our fault. You may see a black man running from the police 100 miles an hour, jumping fences. You say, well, he shouldn't have ran from the police. You know what? I think that too sometimes. but you never know the circumstances that's going on. Can I tell you a secret? I run from the police. And if I have calls, I will run from the police again. Are you listening to me? I have ducked in alleys and around because I don't feel like dealing with them, especially if I've done nothing wrong. I have escaped from the police, and I'll escape again in good cause. However, some of our social behaviors and just the wild way some of us are living is not a good antidote or prescription for dealing with white racist police officers and police forces. You know what I mean? I mean, number one thing I want to get across is you have to be in a soldier's mentality, especially as a black man. You have to think like a soldier and know that you are encountering enemy soldiers when you step out of your door, your house, your home. That's the one thing I want to get across to the black man. When you wake up in the morning, you recognize, look, I am a black man in America. I am an endangered species. I am subject to be falsely arrested, seized, or killed by the police. Let me adopt this mentality as I head out for the day. I don't want to be over tense. I don't want to be overstressed, but I want to know that I'm a soldier and I don't want to be asleep or out here what they call lunching, because you will get burned. So you have to adopt a soldier's mentality. You should be professional, as I am taught by Dr. Khalid Muhammad. There's no disrespect for a soldier to address a soldier of an opposing army in a respectful way. May I see your license or ID? Yes, sir, you can. That's no disrespect. You don't have to say, F you, officer, kiss my ass, and all of that.
Right.
You know, I want you, because if you want respect, you have to give some respect, and you want to let them know that I'm a professional, and I'm going to hold you, Mr. Officer, to a professional standard. Because once you get lazy and sloppy with it, then he can get lazy and sloppy with it. And you'd rather, when the tape is ran back and the witnesses come back, or if the case goes to trial or whatever, you want him to be the one being unprofessional and emotional, and you want to be the one being in control, discipline of your emotions, yet firm on your rights. And if necessary, ready to throw down if it's got to throw down. You want to be right in that moral position where you're professional, calm, control of your emotions, your environment, you got your stuff straight. And if you don't have it straight, I mean, have your stuff straight, your license, your registration, all you're dealing with. And if you don't have it straight, then concede that you don't have it straight. You know what I mean? You know, but other than that, be professional and firm and understand that we're soldiers dealing with soldiers. And I say that still applies for the black woman too. And no different, and plenty of cases pointed out, y'all are not the same kind of soldiers as us. But still, you want to be disciplined still as a woman. You don't want to be hollering, and not that all women are hollering. I'm just saying you don't want to be out of control of your emotions. You want to be professional and firm on your rights.
And I'm glad you brought that up. And it wasn't even on my notes, but it like sparked something in me when you said it. Because I find in a lot of instances, not all, but in a lot of instances, I think that things could have, the conclusions can be a whole lot different when dealing with the police if we use the strategy of self-control. We get so out of our emotions and get so worked up, and you know, a lot of it, I know, you know, we deal with a lot. We're stressed coming out the door, a lot of us.
So much media circulating. Us,
so it's hard. I understand it's difficult for a lot of us to do, but I think if we really understood the strategy in remaining calm, remaining reserved, remaining respectable, not because he or she deserves our respect, but because it's a strategy in war tactic, you know, to be able to control your emotions in a situation like that. I think if we learn that skill, a lot more of us can save our lives.
Well, the main objective for any black person is to get away from the police. Shorten the time of your encounter, and by all means get up out of there without compromising your rights. So, you know,
think the part,
Yeah.
the no, KN, no,
No.
that you talked about is important too. I think, knowing your rights
Knowing
can
your rights.
help you in maintaining your, yourself in the situation,
Good
because
point.
you know that these are your rights.
Right.
You know that right now
Right.
you're trying to violate my rights. And so that, I think that will give you sort of a sense of, peace in the situation. Where
Yeah.
you're not all over the place, you're not nervous,
I
you're not,
agree.
it's like, no, I don't have to show you my ID like you mentioned. So I think that knowing what your rights are in those situations
Yeah.
are important as well, yeah.
Well, what
So-
happens
Mhm.
if, in a situation where you do all the right things according to the law, but you still get brutalized, which a lot of our people do? What then?
The police departments of America have not beaten and killed so many of us simply because we weren't well-disciplined, well-behaving persons. It is the nature of white America, and it is the nature of the white man in America, and it is the nature of all police forces that are under control of the white man of America, regardless to what race or person is that officer,
Exactly.
including Washington, D.C. It is the nature of this system to kill black people.
Yes, sir.
It is the nature of the police departments to protect and control a status quo that has oppressed people under the oppressor in an economic sense.
Period.
So you can't understand police unless you look at the structure. When you seen Taekwon stole a donut and ran over and hopped the gate, when you saw Eric Garner selling him some cigarettes, you might say, well, there's a nigga in there. What the nigga doing? You must understand that this situation is a people were brought from Africa. A people here have been enslaved, discriminated on, oppressed, marginalized, largely placed in certain kind of reservations or Bantustans or called ghettos.
Right.
And then the money and the wealth is with white people, it's with the white power structure. The poverty is here, the lack of jobs is here. And then they say, police, now you come here and maintain this order. Keep them in line and protect what? Serve and protect. Serve and protect what? That property owner. Serve and protect this interest that has whites on top and blacks on the bottom. In other words, go out there and keep them Negroes in line.
By any means
Them Negroes are
necessary.
suffering from them Negroes are suffering from poverty, lack of education, they suffering from mental illnesses and any kind of situations that would bring them harm by the police, But you must understand the police are the enforcers of an unjust world order. Even your nicest black police officer, your friend,
Exactly.
he's still enforcing a society that has taken and robbed us and desires to keep us in place and using the police to keep us in place.
I have two questions, but this main one bothers me a lot. Does respectability politics work for black people? Because you hear this a lot. If they pull their pants up, if they don't hang out on the corner, or
Stop cursing.
it's always all of these things.
Does it
that-
work for what though? Who does it work for?
No, I mean for us, like
Does it work for our people? Does it work with our image with white America?
Does it work for our people as far as protecting ourselves from police brutality? Or even just oppression in general, because people have to either educate yourself, dress a certain way, get a certain job, then you won't have to encounter these things. But we've seen over and over that doesn't necessarily work.
I don't agree with all of that. In Virginia Beach, 1989, there was what they called the Virginia Beach riots. Greek Fest was in Virginia Beach, and the police didn't want the blacks to have the Greek Fest. And I was a witness there as a young college student as the police would riot with Virginia National Guard and state troopers and all of that ganged up on and beat black people in Virginia Beach prior to the internet. It's been huge and it's been the internet.
Yeah.
They were law-abiding, they were decent college students, just having fun. And these police officers were grabbing, beating, and massing up in formations and attacking these particular students. A rebellion broke out. At one critical point of all this in '89, it broke loose because it was too much. I remember all the youth were there, they were playing Fight the Power. And as soon as they turned on Fight the Power, they weren't doing anything, but the white police got mad and attacked from both angles. I'm right in the middle of it. and a whole rebellion broke out. I mean, a serious rebellion. I mean, the police was fighting, we was fighting. I mean, we got to breaking glass. I mean, it was like a 12-hour so-called riot. I call it a rebellion. All the nice college students, I love the college students. They're nice, respectable kids, right? But the brothers who fought like the Palestinians, the ones that put up a tough and strong fight there against the Virginia National Guard and the police, were those so-called ones with their pants down, and the so-called gang members and all of them. So I can't knock.
Yeah.
I like me brothers with warrior spirits, and I don't want to take that from them because I've seen them fight those battles. I saw them. Those were the ones that fought the Los Angeles Rebellion. And that's what shook up this nation. So there are key points in our history where black militancy and rebellions has meant something for us. It has meant concessions for the other more conservative persons, because somebody like Stokely and others was making these cities burn. So the militancy, the rebellion in black youth is necessary. It just has to be, I'm for channeling it, not destroying it. Like my teacher, I am for channeling it and not destroying it. And I do believe that we do need, I do believe we should pull our pants up. Now, don't get me wrong, it's embarrassing to me. I'm embarrassed for our whole race when I see a black man walking down the street with only his boxers on and his pants at his ankle, and he can't even walk.
Probably right.
I really want to get out and slap him upside of his head sometimes. No, seriously, I really do. I get angry these days when I see black men being weak and lazy. Some of them, many black men are way away from that. But.
What are your thoughts on?
But.
Go ahead.
It's just a lot. Everything in America is a but, because everything you try to do right is not always going to work right here. Be good as you want to be.
Yes.
Be good as you want to be, because if you start being real good, you're going to become what? A revolutionary.
Right.
And then they're going to attack you from there.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your thoughts on body cameras for police officers?
I'm for body cameras. I'm strong. That's Zachariah Presley is charged with, what is he charged with? Manslaughter, voluntary manslaughter. Should be second-degree murder, but he was arrested immediately by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation based on his body camera. If it had been up to his word or what happened to him and Tony Green, we probably wouldn't be charged now. So I'm for body cameras, but guess who I'm really for body cameras for? Us. And as I move along and develop in Black Lawyers for Justice, I want to be able to, well, I'm telling you right now, get your own body cameras. You know, if you get stopped by the police, flip on your body camera, your tie camera.
Good point. I like that idea.
Use the intelligence techniques that are used against us, against them.
Yeah.
Record them. If you don't always have to have your phone out, get you a tie camera or a little camera on your sleeve. How you doing, officer? Record him all the while. You know, that's something that the advanced political activists or just people that know what's up can use. I'm for body cameras, but I want us to have them too.
Good point. Can a system this broken be reformed?
This system, according to white America, is working. This system is not broken according to the president and his followers and those in America right now. They say America is on the comeback. That America, yes, it is being repaired. It is being reformed. It's being reformed away from y'all. And you Negroes and Mexicans and Obamaites and all of that. The white man said, yeah, my system's being reformed, or I'm great again. I'm the white man talking, I'm great again. As far as we know, the answer is a flat, firm no. Nowhere in the history of America, up to its present day, can we say that the evidence will show that America will turn around and treat us justly and fairly. As a matter of fact, in any way, as a matter of fact, at this year and time right now, you can say that America is more backwards now than ever. The fact that Donald Trump is the president of this country is a clear sign that America is more backwards now than ever.
Why do you think so many of us have so much faith in this system, despite all the years and all the retribution, all the pain and murder and suffering that we've been dealt by the hands of this system. Why do we turn around and still believe in it so strongly?
Well, we don't see nothing else better right now. We don't see anything else better. I mean, you can go, there were many slaves on the plantation that was not eager to leave the plantation. They didn't see anything better.
Alternative, yeah.
They didn't see anything better. So we have to show our people that there is a better way. We have to convince them that there is a better way. Now, there's an argument inside of your argument that you can make certain kinds of progress and some kinds of progress in America under this nation within a nation concept, that there's some progress you can make. We can talk about that. But overall, America cannot be reformed. That's one subject that is covered here. We're talking about the book of Khalid and Dr. Khalid's position on America. Those that are into the scriptures, and it said that Nineveh could be changed, that Nineveh was going to be reformed because the king in Nineveh, Dr. Khalid deals with this, that the king of Nineveh, he put on sackcloth and ashes. And because he put on sackcloth and ashes and pretended to atone for the crimes that Nineveh had committed against God's people, that God would forgive Nineveh. But however, as Dr. Muhammad points out, Nineveh being a modern day America, according to the scriptures and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but that 2 books later after Nineveh, you have to go into the book of Nahum when it points out that Nineveh tried to trick God and Nineveh was destroyed by God because she was a liar. And that is America. America, with all of her civil rights bills or pretensions of bringing about racial justice and racial equality, has largely been a farce. America pretending to change has been a farce. And therefore America still remains, in my judgment, on the divine hit list as the #1 violator of the laws of God and the human rights of our people and many others. Yes.
Good points. Well, we want to jump into some promos real briefly. If you're watching us, you are watching the Empower Hour with Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz on as our guest. We're talking about police mistreatment, proper protocols, when you are confronted by the police. We are here at Everlasting Life, 9185 Central Avenue, that's in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Everlasting Life is a full-fledged vegan restaurant, but it's so much more than that. We do different types of events here on an ongoing basis. For instance, children eat free each and every Thursday night. So bring the children, as long as they're 12 years or younger, they eat a free, healthy meal as long as they're here with an accompanied adult. And then it becomes a playroom for them in the lounge area. So they can come together, mix and mingle with other children in the community, and they have a good time. So that's each and every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Following that up, every Friday is our dinner and a movie here at Everlasting Life. We air a different documentary, something impactful centered around us as a people, and then we have a discussion that follows. That's always free here every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. Every first Saturday of the month is our Black Wall Street Renaissance, where we take the lounge area, fill it with different small business owners and vendors, and you can come out and shop. All-day event from 12 to 6 p.m. Not only can you shop with local vendors, but we open the stage up for different lecturers or entertainers, things of that nature, so it's always something exciting going on, different, here at the Black Wall Street Renaissance, every first Saturday of the month, right here at Everlasting Life from 12 to 6 p.m. Marketplace, every third Saturday of the month. We host a fresh produce, natural supplement, organic herbs and spices, vegan grocery marketplace. So again, every third Saturday of the month from 11 to 4 p.m. Come on and join us for that. That's always free as well. If you're interested in becoming a vendor for that or the Black Wall Street Renaissance, Find us online. We're pretty easy to find under Everlasting Light, Vegan Restaurant and Lounge. Broadcasting call. We're here inside the eLife Studios. If you see what Hanifa and I do on a weekly basis, and you're out there and you think you have a voice that should be heard to a larger audience, consider joining us here at the eLife Studios family. We have a phenomenal rate going on right now, unbeatable, $25 per show. That includes full engineering. You won't find that price anywhere else. So join us here and find out more information by Googling eLife Studios. All right, back to the program at hand with attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. If you guys are wanting to call in, the number is 240-455-5934.
Hold 1 second. Now, y'all, can y'all beat this on NBC or CNN? Let me know. 'Cause if you can, I ain't figured it out. Is you hearing what I'm hearing up in here? All
So
right.
I see, Brother Shabazz, you have some literature that you
Yes.
brought with you.
Well, what I want to say is that I'm willing to continue to answer your questions, and I am here to go over your claims of police abuse. My website is blackrightsmatter.org. The number to my law office right here in Maryland, in College Park, is 301-513-5445. It's faster to email me your information at attorney.shabazz@yahoo.com. If you feel you've been falsely arrested by the police, seized unlawfully, abused, shot, if jail guards have attacked someone you know, prison guards, jail guards while being arrested. I just had a strong case I just concluded against Oklahoma, in Oklahoma, against Caddo County, Oklahoma, and other jails there for the death of Darius Robinson. Some people saw it on my case. It was a hard-fought case that just brought to a decent conclusion, you know, a decent conclusion, I say, because a decent conclusion, because the strongest of justice is not won in the courtroom. You understand what I mean?
Yes, sir.
When someone is killed, the strongest acts of justice are not won in the courtroom. However, strong acts of justice that can cause changes in policies and can put pressure on systems and give compensations to family and get people fired and all that. We do all of that at Black Lawyers for Justice.
Yeah.
We do as much as we can under this legal system.
What do you see as the
Yes.
solution to police brutality?
The ultimate solution is self-determination. Self-determination. I was talking with attorney Mustafa Al-Ansari of the American Institute of Human Rights earlier today about he made a historic filing at the United Nations for our self-determination and the right to govern ourselves in these what they call ghettos or enclaves here in America. Similar subject I was speaking on with the Honorable Silas Muhammad in Chicago as I celebrated his Savior's Day, and we were dealing with the basic points that we raised that we've been given from God. Separation. I have to say that in order to cure police brutality, you would have to be able to completely reform the police brutalitizer. And that means you would have to reform the white man. And the white man cannot be reformed. The white man by nature is born to shed the blood of black people. By nature. That's just how it goes. If you look at the history, let alone the genetics, he lives to a great degree by your demise. He cannot avoid tearing into your flesh. So you really have to be, if you wanted to be completely free from white racism and brutality, you'd have to have a separate land of your own. However, you can go to South Africa where it's so-called black police force, and you can see brutality there. All systems in society have security or police for 6,000 years or more, regardless to race. They all have it. The question is, but you don't see the type of racial attacks or abuse by police that you see in America, in other countries that I've been to. So, you know, if you're in America, you're going to have a problem with the police. I don't see it changing anytime soon. I see white police getting bolder. So as you're talking about solutions for survival, dear sister, knowing your rights, solutions for survival, police patrols. There are no black organizations out here, and yet we've encouraged, maybe the Black Panther, new Black Panthers will be on it soon. There are no real serious community efforts for patrols. There's no one saying, well, you know, these are the police accountability, the patrols, the activities that are going on in our community. But that's what we could do.
Yeah.
There could be more efforts around a united front with organizations saying that these are our schedule of activities to protect our people from this menace.
Yeah.
This is part of the dysfunction of black leadership.
Yes, sir.
We can complain, but we say, well, where do I go for help?
I agree.
And they will say, well, what are all these groups doing?
I agree.
Each one of these groups is doing their own thing, and they have yet to combine.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, and I can't bring about a solution to this problem, but I can help let y'all know that I'm just come to blackrightsmatter.org. That's what I ask. And let me try to give you some knowledge. At least what the individual can do right now is gain knowledge.
Yeah.
If you're an organization, I will help supply your organization with your organizational version. I'm making a version of this for the new Black Panther Party. I'm going to make a version of this for the Lost Found Nation of Islam. I will help train community organizations on how to hold police accountable, how to tie the demonstrations, the police patrol, the police, the lawsuits together to harass them and to hold them accountable. Because there are some reforms, there are some what I call reforms, some changes, some pushback, some defense. And you know, and so therefore I say that Black Lawyers for Justice and myself as former chairman of the Panther Party, I'm open for dialogue and talk about real coalitions against police brutality and abuse. I am open for that.
Thank
and
you.
helping to put it in concrete terms. I'm on this 24/7.
Returning to the point of self-preservation,
Yes.
doing for self.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think, or maybe it's just me, that it's so far-fetched for most of us to grasp a concept of policing our own communities? When that subject comes up, it normally, you know, black people don't take that seriously. Why do you think we're so?
I don't think they even know that we can police our own communities because they haven't seen it. But there are some examples. We'll talk about it in a minute. I have the book of Khalid here and the chapter here on the FOI class. FOI class he taught at Muhammad's Mosque number 4 in February of 1993. Inside of it, it talks here about what? The dope busters. Talks about something that most black people don't know. In 1988, 9, and 90, in this city was one of the strongest efforts ever at self-policing. And that was waged by those legendary brothers and sisters who fought in the trenches for Muhammad's Mosque number 4 called the Dope Busters. They had took control over there, Mayfair Mansion, over there off Kenilworth Avenue, and they were policing and patrolling our own community to a great degree of success. And this whole city was fired up. So, you know, there's some things that happened after that, but this has been done. It can be done. There was a time when there was a Black Panther Party on the streets of America, and the police knew that they were being watched, they were being monitored, and when they killed somebody, they knew that it was a chance that one of their men somehow or another was going to pay the price very soon. So again, so don't lose hope. It is a serious problem, but the nature of our situation in America that is a problem. You know, and we have to keep on fighting and striving for solutions until ultimately, Brother Baruch, we're out of here into some kind of promised land of our own.
Okay, I should.
Yes.
No, I was saying, the literature he had as far as the black man dealing with police is on the
Yes,
website.
on the website.
Okay,
Email
so
me,
it is.
attorney.shabazz, attorney.shabazz, SHABAZZ @yahoo.com. I'll give you my pamphlets. I'll be more than happy to give it to you. Attorney.Shabazz. I'll speak to your organization. I'll come to your organization. I'll come to your campus. I'll do a webcast. I train on these subjects.
Yeah, I've been to one
I train on the subjects. Yes.
One
and
of
I'll
your
be,
trainings. It was
yeah,
excellent.
I'll be back on it, and
I learned a lot.
field trainings and all of that. So we just have to take it all to a higher level, and let's see where the future takes us.
The Book of Khalid.
right.
So you been up on that
I
subject.
am.
Tell us about what you got going on.
What I have here on this table is much of my work product to date on the Book of Khalid, Volume 1. Volume 1. It has been a long time coming. I even came on this show earlier about the Black Men's Convention, and I promised a date, and I missed that date. So I'm here to explain to brothers and sisters why I have missed these dates.